recording.
Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Riding with Dirt Lad. And I am Dirt Lad. I did a blog a couple of days ago on taking a new rider for a ride. It was wonderful. It was awesome. It was a thing of pure genius. And of course, I forgot to turn the camera on. So I'm going to try to recreate it. Similar to Tenacious D, this is not the greatest vlog in the world. It is a tribute. Couldn't remember the greatest vlog in the world. This is just a tribute. There are certain listeners, maybe one, of a particular generation who are probably laughing their heads off right now. So taking a new rider for a ride. So the new rider in question was Dirt Daughter, the older. I've been riding for 2 seasons now, and she hasn't wanted to go for a ride. I mean, she hasn't said no, but it was always, it wasn't something that she sought out. So finally this last Sunday, she texts me. She's like, hey, good day for a motorcycle ride. Which, yeah, I know what those words mean. So she came over, picked her up, and I said, hey, have you ever been on a motorcycle before? And she's like, no. And then she's like, yes. Apparently, when she was a little younger, she had a boyfriend who rode a motorcycle, probably a sport bike. Don't mean to cast anybody with a negative, but... So he took her for a ride, and it was really fast and low around corners, and did a wheelie with her on the back, and, I would imagine he was trying to impress his girlfriend. Dirt Daughter, the older, is hard to impress. And I'm going to take away from that experience that she did not enjoy it. I mean, it was something new to her, something that she didn't know what to expect. And, yeah, she didn't enjoy it. So I give her props for saying that she would go with me. Now, with me, we're riding the Roadstar. Even if this thing could do a wheelie, or even if I knew how to do a wheelie, we're not doing wheelies. I'm a middle-aged old man. I don't wheelie. I told her what we were doing. I told her where we would go. Gave her some options on, do you want the indirect route or the direct route? Do you want more freeway? Do you want more, cruising the downtown streets? And she picked cruising the downtown streets, which is fine because I like a good cruise. As we were riding, I could lean over and lean back and say, hey, at this next stage we're going through a curve, won't be that bad. Or I could lean back and say, hey, we're on the freeway for a very little bit. We're doing 100 kilometers an hour. This is as fast as we're going to go. All in all, living up to my mantra of trying to make it a memorable experience. And not memorable in a bad way. So we did the whole thing. We headed downtown. We were in Edmonton. We did the trip down Fox Drive that you guys have seen a few times on the vlog. We went through the university area, nice historic neighborhood, mature trees, green, similar to what you're seeing around here. Went across the bridge over the North Saskatchewan, headed towards Grote Road, did a little, up Grote Road, through the curvy, windy sections. Did my best to maintain the speed limit. Popped into downtown, crossed the high-level bridge across Edmonton, or the North Saskatchewan River in Edmonton. Went to Tim Hortons on White Avenue. She bought a coffee. I got a free coffee. And then afterwards, came out of downtown, wandered home. And when we got back to, I don't know what I'm going to call it, Dirt Castle? Dirt Castle. She said that she really enjoyed herself and had a lot of fun. And I know this statement is true because 20 minutes later, after she got back to her home, she texted me again and said she really enjoyed herself and had a lot of fun. Police on bikes? Holy crap, I haven't seen that yet this summer. Good for them, good boys. Anyway, if you are a new rider, if you are an experienced rider, obviously this is a fun hobby. Some people do it for the scenery, some people do it because it's relaxing. Some people do it because, they just look badass on it. And the Harley is loud or the pipes are loud. When you are taking out a new rider, a new passenger, if you will, the key to remember is that they don't get the same out of the experience that you get. So if you like it fast and curvy, you gotta grow them as a passenger. You gotta play to their level for just a little bit. You gotta build up a level of trust in what you're doing. Now maybe my daughter has more trust in me than she had in her boyfriend at the time, which I think is, a reasonable statement. But the next time we go out, she now has an elevated sense of what I'm going to do as the driver, what we can do as, people on a bike on the roads. And next time we go out, she might say that, hey, Dad, let's do some more freeways, which is cool. Or she might say, hey, Dad, here's a destination I have in mind. Might be kind of cool to see on a bike. Do a little cruise out to wherever. And again, perfectly acceptable. And then maybe you reach the point where, when the experience is there, the trust level is high, you're confident in what you're doing, you're confident in knowing what they're going to do with you on the back of the bike. You know that they're not going to jump off, you know that they're not going to lean up when you're trying to lean down, that kind of stuff. Then those are the times where you lean back and say, well, Dirt Daughter the older, would you like to see if we can step it up a little bit? Maybe do something to pop a little adrenaline. And if your passenger at that time says, yeah, this is cool, go for it. Then you break out your inner teenage boy just for a moment. Wouldn't recommend it. Never recommend breaking the law, exceeding the speed limit, or doing anything that is unsafe. But just for a second, crack that throttle open. And give them the opportunity to see some of what you might be experiencing. Whether it's a destination, whether it's a riding style that you particularly enjoy that they might not have been exposed to. Anyway, words of advice from not only Dirt Lad, but I'm a Dirt's dad with Dirt daughters, both younger and older. I'm a Dirt husband with a Dirt wife. As we are approaching the end of this vlog, as I've said before in variations in times past, be good to one another, be kind, be understanding, own your shit. Last thing before I go, just a little quickie. I mentioned it last vlog, mentioned it the vlog before. We're down to the days, people. There's no longer weeks of riding left. It's now days. If you are a rider, get out there. Enjoy what we have left. I certainly am going to. Take care. Thank you all. Have a good night.